Rightio, let's have a look at the Sidetracked Australia Patrol. First up, suspension in the front end. We are running Fox remote res adjustable. We've got 10-inch travel in the front. We've also got the Superior Hyperflex radius arms. Great piece of kit. Anything from Superior I've had so far has been really well made and strong gear. So I'm pretty happy with them. Still factory sway bars, but with extended links that are just a quick disconnect. The articulation with their radius arms and long shocks is just insane. Really good. Dobinson springs, it's a 4-inch lift that we've got in the Patrol at the moment. Adjustable drag link, beefed up, bigger than factory. Also adjustable panhard rod and a beefed up tie rod also. Also we have a Fox 2.0 steering dampener. That's basically suspension in the front end. The diff, we're running a Eaton E-locker. Haven't had any issues with that actually. It's been a pretty good piece of gear. As far as front protection goes, it's just a ARB Deluxe bar, winch bar obviously. Definitely got plans to do something of our own on the front of this Patrol. Maybe incorporate the grille and yeah, make it really unique. That's the plan. Winch, we are running the Smitty built 12,000 pound. Haven't had any real issues with it as far as reliability goes. A little bit of electrical issue with the remote, the wireless, sorry. But I've never been in a predicament where I couldn't winch. It just means I've had to have the lead on the remote. Got the Factor 55 Ultra Hook. It's a bloody nice piece of kit. 2 external aerials here. The small one's just a FM or AM FM radio, a little bit stronger signal, and the GME 6.6 decibel UHF aerial. So under the hood, it is still a factory 4.2 turbo diesel, factory turbo diesel. It was in between the models where they brought out with an intercooler, which isn't a bad thing because I've put a cross-country top mount onto it. Still running the factory turbo, and I've also beefed up the fuel pump, so it's still hauls. It goes right for a 4.2, but it's still super reliable, and that's the way we want to keep it. Other than that, we have dual battery, yeah, and that's pretty much 3-inch exhaust right through. But as far as performance mod goes, we're trying to want it to be still super reliable. Over on the passenger side here, Safari Snorkel. It was honestly one of the first things I put on the truck years ago. Haven't had an issue. Still suits all the black vibe we got going on, so it's yeah, just gets lost, which is nice. It is a matte black. It was once upon a time a white vehicle, as you can see from the bonnet and inside the doors. It's a vinyl wrap, which has been really good. Yes, it's pinstriped, but you're going to get a pinstripe paint job anyway, so yeah, it's not a cheap thing, but it really has transformed just somewhat of an ordinary looking truck into something that looks pretty cool. Once again, it's another thing that I want to customize a little bit for a bit more of a step, like the Jeep. But the rock sliders that I'm running at the moment, they're advanced. I think they're a local Adelaide mob that make them. Gutsy. I've had plenty of hits with them, and they've saved my seals, so they've done their job. But yeah, there's plans in the not too distant future to upgrade them, make them look a little bit more stylish and a bit nicer than just the old tube bar. One of my favourite additions to the big truck is probably the Superior long arm kit in the rear for the lower control arms. Sway bars are still factory, just with longer end lengths, and the travel is just ridiculous. Sway bars still connected right now. These long arms, a heap beefier. They've got an extra rib on top, and the actual guts of it is just a heap stronger than factory. From factory, you're gaining about 300mm on your long arm, which obviously means you can drop that wheel a hell of a lot further. The shocks are a 12-inch Fox, once again, remote res adjustable. We've got adjustable upper control arms, and obviously your brake valve extension bracket too. There's still a factory LSD. I have upgraded the gearing to 4.3s. That's purely based on putting 35s on it. And yeah, it's a pretty good ratio, I think, for 35s. If you go too much, if you go up to a 4.6, you can probably be screaming a little bit down the highway. So I'm happy with it. It's nice. If I was to go 37s, which it's always a possibility, I'd probably crank that ratio up to the 4.6. Being a wagon, I love the idea of a wagon. You can lock your wagon, everything's shut, locked, secure, but there's obviously still a lot of things we put on the roof. We try and minimize what we put up there, but there's obviously chainsaws and that sort of stuff. There wasn't really anything on the market for me that I wanted on the side of my rig as far as aesthetics go. So I designed up a ladder. Basically started out with a piece of MDF, cut it out, templated it, and then got it all laser cut out, folded up. And this is the product we ended up with. Incredibly happy with it. Strong, I can walk up and down it, jump on it, it's sturdy, there's no issues there. So that's attached to the front runner slimline roof rack up top and down to my ARB rear bar. I was always a little bit hesitant on the whole, one's connected to my vehicle, one's connected to my chassis, the whole vibration. Haven't had any issues yet. I've mounted it with rubber mounts at the bottom, so it's hopefully taken that vibration out of it, and it's still a solid piece of kit, and I can walk up and down it, no dramas at all. Around to the rear bar, it's an ARB dual wheel carrier. I've once again put my own little custom tweaks on that. I've sort of cut and shut the mounts of the tyres to put them on the trophy truck angle. It separates it from your normal ARB bar. Looks a bit nicer, I think. And yeah, it's obviously twin 35s on the back. Just on the back of the swingaways, I've tucked up some nice LED light bars, just some 6 inches up underneath there. It's just on a separate switch. They can be used for camp lights when you're setting up, or obviously reversing lights if you need a bit of extra light. Rubbish bag or dirty gear bag, depending on what you're doing. This is a new addition, gas bottle holder, so we'll see how that goes. In the not too distant future, should work well, so we don't actually have to remove the gas bottle when we're setting up our camp. Speaking of which, base camp, you need shade, so we're trying out this new Super Wing, the Rapid 6. This is brand spanking new at the moment, so we can't tell you an honest opinion on it. However, a previous Super Peg awning that we've still got on the tracker, it's been a hell of an awning, so this one's got some additions that one didn't have, like integrated poles, and the walls are a hell of a lot better on first inspection. So we're super keen to test this out, and yeah, the shade in area coverage is just huge. So I'm looking forward to having a good play with that. I've only just taken off the side MaxTrax mount that I fabbed up at the same time as the ladder on the other side to sort of keep the symmetry. I've pulled that off at the moment to mount the awning, and we'll just want to do a trip or two to make sure I want an awning on the vehicle. It is definitely an advantage, but I might have to alter that because I really do like the look of the MaxTrax sitting on the side. Not only the look good, but super convenient if you're in a bog hole. It's just easy on and off. You don't have to be climbing on top of your roof. Once again, if you've got them filthy, bang them straight on. They're not dropping mud and stuff all over your roof, because cleaning under your roof rack is the devil. So on the roof rack up here, it's the Slimline 2 from Front Runner. Really changed the look of the Patrol. I did have a different rack on previous to this, and yeah, I'm super happy with the Slimline. It just looks nice and it's so usable. Everything's just much more bolt on rather than straps on the side. Shovel mounts, super sturdy. They're a Front Runner item. Ratcheting design. Chainsaw, I've fabbed up my own little mount for that, so it's just a wing nut and a hook over for the chainsaw bar. Also padlocked on. Jerry can for that. MaxTrax, they've had to come up here after putting the awning on, so they're just up top for now until I work that whole predicament out. I get a lot of questions on this box here. This is a Pelican storm case. Nice and slimline, obviously trying to keep the whole wind drag down, which is better for my fuel economy. That's purely for recovery gear. Super handy, nice and slim, and it's black, fits in with the whole theme. Below that, we've got the front runner stainless table. Really nice, sturdy table. I almost think it's a little bit too good for camping, but it's a bloody nice product. On the front of the rack, we've just got a LED light bar sitting up under there, tucked under there nice and neat. A little tomahawk sitting there, good for splitting a bit of firewood. So in the back, I've made a complete custom parcel shelf, drawer, solar panel, little hole down there for it. In the back, right at the back in there, I've got a 10 litre air tank, stainless tank. That's to couple with the ARB compressor under my driver's seat. I've got a couple camp lights, 3 of them, one on each side, and then one up on the barn door. Bloody handy if you're prepping here, or you've got you know, late night snacks on the road or whatever you're doing. Underneath the stainless top, we've got 2 wolf packs, just without the lids on, so I can just remove them. They're not fixed in there. Simple as that. And that's exchangeable with any other wolf pack, so if you want to quickly get one out and put one in, that's all good. But yeah, I've basically got spare gear in here that I carry all the time, so just gets it out the way and makes it nice and tidy. So yeah, that's a 120 watt red arc solar panel that plugs into the front, coming out of the front bar, the bull bar. Tie down rails, these I've housed these into the top, so that sits just below flush. So you've still got a nice flat surface, but you have still got tie downs and tie downs along each side and one in the middle. So plenty of options there. Tucked in the corner behind here, we've got 2 amps. One's for the 4 sets of splits in the front, and also a 12-inch sub, slimline sub, just sitting in the back here. Up top, this is a cargo net from a company called Boab. That space is just so valuable. You're keeping your pillows or your jackets, all that light stuff that you don't really want in the rest of your mess. You know, you're keeping them clean. Up there, it doesn't get used, and it's not affecting your center of gravity. Definitely a good product. So to go with the compressor and the air tank, this is my outlet for the pump up kit. Plugs in there, unplugs, it's gone, hidden, doesn't get full of crap and mud, so it's a good little spot for that. So in the back door, I've sort of made, it's again completely custom, done ourselves. I've completely removed the 3 seats in the back, so at the moment it's just basically a ute. I have done it in such a way that I can either put 1 seat in, or I can put back to the whole 5-seater. I run a 80 litre Engel, just a full fridge that's sitting there, easy access to the front of the truck for passenger or myself driving. Once again, I've got tie down rails, the same as in the back, so I can still mount anything I want there in pretty much any configuration. I've got a fire extinguisher tucked under there, under each side. Still got storage under the front section, and then my slimline sub is tucked in just behind the fridge, which that can all stay there when the seats are in. Basically all I've got to do is pull the two base plates out, the false floors, and then everything else stays. So it's simple, literally 4 bolts, and it's back to a 5-seater vehicle. Around on the driver's side in the rear, this is the other half of the false floor. Tucked in under here, we have a 1000 watt projector inverter for charging computers and camera gear. We've got a power board for USBs, 240 plugs. Tucked underneath the seat, we've got the twin ARB compressor, which obviously links to the stainless 10 litre tank, and the outlet on the back of the rear bar. Also got the tweeters mounted into the back of the center console. Obviously the speakers are in the door still. And then around into the front, the tweeters are up top here. with the speakers still in the door. I'm running 3 red arc gauges, the battery monitor, so for both batteries, 1 and 2. We've got oil pressure and water temp, and then up top EGTs and boost gauge, and also external temp at like ambient temperature. Dealing with all our 12 volt stuff, I'm running a BCDC 1225, a red arc product obviously. That is tucked underneath a kick panel down by the passenger's footwell. Over to head unit, we've got a Pioneer, just a double DIN head unit, nothing too flash. It plays tunes and it turns up and down, so I'm happy with that. It's also got a reversing camera as well that we've linked in. UHF, we have tucked it down in between the passenger and the driver's seat. I really don't like a heap of things hanging off my dash. I like to keep the standard look, but I still like to have the features. So we've mounted that in the side. It was an incredibly tight fit to get that in there, but it fits, and yeah, it's super tidy. I mean, we don't use it every day, obviously, so I like, it tucks away nicely. You don't have a dangling cord from up at your ceiling. As far as navigation goes, I'm running the HX1 from HEMA. That's the only digital maps that I've ever used. I'm really happy with them. I have had a little play around with like friends and other digital navigation systems, and they always seemed a little bit slow and non-responsive to me. So it's a bit of a gamble, but credit to HEMA, this one has been really nice and it's responsive and it's not painful to use. So obviously that coupled with paper maps, and you got a pretty good combination. Down below here, we've just got a switch panel. That's just a little panel that I've bought that's cut out, laser cut out for rocker switches. So we've got diff locks, compressor, spotlights which are linked in with high beams, and also the rear lights on the rear bar. Just tucked over here, that's the Red Arc Tow Pro Elite for electric brakes from Mattel and the tracker. Simple, just dial it in, dial it out, or you can actually hold the button in and it will actually brake the trailer behind you. So if you're in a steep descent and you need brakes, that can pull you up. This model didn't come out with cruise control, and I didn't want some tacky extra lever on the side of like indicator stalk, so I did a bit of research and bought a factory cruise control that obviously came out in a later model and linked it up with a aftermarket cruise control. So it looks factory, nice and tidy, and works just like a factory one anyway. So that's we've got to drive that far in Australia to get anywhere that we want to. So touring's a big thing. It's a pain in the ass with no cruise control. So that's it. That's the Sidetracked Patrol, the ins and outs of it. No doubt the project will never really finish. There's always something else to do. But yeah, as far as it is now, that's it.